The Ride Home podcast is produced for entertainment purposes only. Anything said on the show is not to be imitated or acted upon. Please listen responsibly and enjoy the show. Welcome back to the Ride Home podcast. And if you're on your ride home, next time, not right now because you're listening to the show, don't you dare turn that dial, but if you do, at some point, go listen to an actual album, like a straight up album all the way through. I know some of you people out there, I know you listen to one or two songs from an artist. Nah, get that full picture. Go listen to an album next time you're on your ride home. This time, fuck you. You're right here. You're my captive. Let's continue. Where are we going with this? Because my mind is completely shattered. We're doing pop culture, and in particular, the geek slash nerd slash fandom slash whatever the hell you want to call it, mismatch of what all this is. I'm excited to get this episode going because I don't know if you guys have noticed. I mean, obviously you have, but like, the world is kind of nerdy right now, for lack of a better word. I was hoping somebody would react.
Sorry.
You think that was a joke? I'm not that funny.
I was waiting for intros or something.
I thought to something like you're gonna lead up like the conversation with like another question.
Yeah, that's a good point. Welcome back to the Ride Home podcast, and if you're on this podcast, make sure you make sure you intro your guests correctly if you're ever doing a fucking show. Don't fuck up like I did. This is gonna be the worst editing in the world.
I'm so sorry.
I'm gonna have to cut and bleep so much.
Dude, this is great. I'm sweating. Like
I'm turning off the camera. Anyway.
Okay, let's wake up.
So, my guest today, starting right here with his beautiful new pro streamer G Fuel Pyramid in the back. This is our good friend Stromboli.
Hello, this is my 9th time on the podcast. It's great to be back. I'll say that every time I come back. Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Fucking PogChamp.
And basically a co-host at this point, my other guest this evening, Squatch. What's up?
Illusion. Yo, what's up? It's your boy Squatch. It's your boy Illusion. Back again. As our host said, yeah, we are becoming like household guests at this point. It's really nice. Always glad to be here.
Look, if it was just me talking to myself to the camera for an hour and a half, I don't think people would be too interested.
Please don't call me out.
So we're just gonna keep doing this right here.
Please don't call me out like that.
If I could leave this call right now. Anyway. I can't even make the funny noise because I'm trying to host this shit. And then for those of you who actually pay for the Patreon in, a year or so, if we ever start one, my goal right now is to hit 500 followers / subscribers / people interested in this crap before I even start the Patreon. But you would get to see the video, and you'll get to see an additional person up in the corner staring at the camera right now. See, look, he moved his eyes over.
Hey guys, can you do a dab real quick? Can you do a dab?
Our
for Patreon?
Our silent friend, who I guess, I mean, he will not be named. You put your camera on. You kind of did this to yourself. While Sam dabs away, what is the move here? So, we're talking about fandoms, for lack of a better word, right?
Mm-hmm.
This could range from anything, man. It could be sci-fi stuff. A lot of people are really into Star Wars, Star Trek, that kind of crap. I mean, I say crap, but like I wasn't streaming Star Wars earlier today.
For a couple of hours, yeah.
Yeah, I did do some stuff, man. That's gonna be a bumpy ride, but we'll get to that. But no, that kind of stuff. Comic book stuff, cartoon stuff. It's it goes throughout the years, different fandoms, different groups of people who like the same form of entertainment. I wanted to talk about him a little because I was having a lot of memories of when I was growing up recently, especially with all the recent convention photos that have been flooding my social media feed. I've been wanting to see, like, you know, if 15 years ago, would I have thought I would ever be at the point I am now? You know what I mean? And I started looking at the reactions to things in general and how, like, anime especially was really rough for me. So that's going to be mine. But the first thing I want to know from you guys is what was the first fandom you ever got involved in, like, not, you know, dabbled with, but actually deeply got sucked into?
Ooh, who's going first? I guess I'll go first since I spoke.
I mean,
um,
I'm prepared if y'all aren't, but
I'll take the first hit.
cool, works for me.
Um,
Free
my
content.
first, I guess, fandom was Marvel or superhero movies in general, the whole genre. I was sort of dragged in by my dad. Actually, he was really into superheroes and comic books and the whole thing. He grew up with it. It was his sort of motivation. So in my house, I swear to you, 98% of all the films that we have are all comic book or superhero related.
That's a
All the
high
figures.
percentile.
Oh yeah, it's we have the only things that are not superhero are Big Bang Theory. But then you'd have to count that as
I mean, when you think about it, that's about, you know, a group of what more than, you know, nerds, geeks.
exactly. So it's like, the percentile is pretty much there. My dad collected he still has a huge collection of figures. I have uncles that collect figures. I think all my uncles actually collect superhero figures as well. So it's, passed down by the family, I guess. I had to hold the torch now. Um, it started off with me watching superhero movies with my dad, and it just became an obsession growing up, learning about superheroes, reading the comics online, buying comic books off of the comic book store, buying my dad and my uncle's figures for their birthdays.
Holy
Uh,
shit! Like, you were buying them figures back then.
mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I would find figures at the local comic book store. By the way, shout out to Duncanville comic book shop. They have a bunch of cool shit. They don't have any anime stuff, which is cringe, and they should change that. Um, but I would buy my uncles and family members like superhero stuff just to, like, keep growing their collection, I guess.
Yeah.
But that's the only fandom I've really, like, been really involved in. I have been in so many, like, Facebook pages and Instagram pages and uh conversations with other fans. Uh the whole fandom of superheroes now is huge, and it is really weird to see how big it has become. Like, the Christian, you have a lighter on open right now?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
I
He's
was
got his camera
wondering.
on.
I was wondering why the light was flashing.
I'm having
Um,
okay, so like I'm having the hardest time lighting this incense. It's from a new brand. Um, the shop didn't have the normal brand I bought, and these incense sticks are being a pain in the ass to light. I'm not a
God
fan.
damn.
There we go. I got him.
Okay, let me continue. Um, but the fandom has grown so huge, it's sort of hard to take the fandom seriously because there's so much that people complain about the inaccuracy of, like, comic books and the films. It just becomes a big old huge clusterfuck of a bunch of people just jumping on the wagon. People jump on the whole superhero wagon so easily now. It's so insane.
See, I think a lot of it comes from obviously this Marvel Cinematic Universe, right? Like, so many people are at a level where they've grown up with that now. You know, it's
Oh yeah.
when you think about it, like Captain America was what? When you get down to it, the year
Like when the
was
movie
yeah.
released,
Oh yeah, I'm looking for the year real quick. Captain America is sitting at
like 2009.
2011. 2011 was Captain America. Um, So you got to realize that this has been going for 11, going on 12 years now.
Wait a
Even
minute,
old
but Captain America
Iron Man
wasn't
was
the
in
first
2008.
Marvel.
Yeah, what was the first like actual MCU film?
Iron Man.
Technically, it was Hulk.
My mind
From-
keeps going to like, where it says the first Avenger, right? Like that's when things started to spill over, but
That's Iron Man.
right.
Iron Man was the first one.
Well, I meant the literal subtitle of the film, but that's why I keep
yeah.
thinking
First Avenger would be Captain America, but like by film
from
wise,
MCU, yeah, what would be the first actual film?
Well, technically,
Technicality would
MCU
be
is
Hulk.
Iron Man.
That's what I thought too, was like for some reason my mind was screaming Iron Man.
Hulk is
I
canon
hate-
though. Even though the actors have changed, technically the Hulk movies are canon. Those are like 2005 I think was the last one. 2005 or 4.
Here, I will tie this up.
It's with it's not Edward Norton's Hulk. It's what's his name? Something Bana.
I know who you're talking about.
Eric,
Yeah, that
I want
was-
to say his name is Eric Bana. Is the one that they said was canon.
Really?
Even though it's not the same actor, the things that happen in that movie are supposed to be like MCU background. If I'm not
I'm
mistaken.
seeing first MCU
No, you're
film
right.
according to the internet says Iron Man. But yeah, those naturally the Hulk's origin story hasn't changed. And there was an Incredible Hulk in 2008 apparently.
Worst Hulk film. No,
So-
That
actually,
one was
the second one, the Incredible Hulk, I hated. I did not like that one a single
Yeah,
bit.
that was a different world though. Like that definitely wasn't MCU. That was when superhero movies were still kind of struggling to find their footing.
Oh, dude,
Um,
they have been struggling ever since like I think the 80s or the 90s.
I mean, we had some
Especially-
good ones in the 90s though.
Oh yeah, Batman and
2003.
Robin.
Not Batman
Forever.
and Robin, fuck you. I'm talking like
No, that's where the whole like the get go of superhero films was most likely seen as a joke.
yeah.
After Batman Forever, that ruined like superheroes
Now-
for everyone.
With superheroes, when they take it to a different level, for example, a film that you wouldn't even assume it was a superhero, at the time if you didn't know the lore. But 1998, you have Wesley Snipes, Blade.
Blade, yep.
That
film that saved Marvel.
yeah, I mean technically
did.
it's not MCU, but like it really did put Marvel's films back on the map. They were really jokey up until that point, if I
It
remember
got
right.
them out of bankruptcy.
It's because a lot of people didn't like how weird the costumes were for superheroes.
Yeah,
And they adapted the whole black leather getup, including Blade, X-Men. I love the leather suits in X-Men. I would not like to see Hugh Jackman wearing the yellow and blue suit. It just doesn't suit him as how he looks. I want to fucking call out I hate these studios so much for doing this. In the second Wolverine movie, right? At the very end, when he's on the jet leaving Tokyo to go back to America, he opens a case and it is the original Wolverine suit. And they teased us. They blue-balled us for so many years, and we will never get that in our lives.
yeah. That I remember the Fox superhero movies were just shat out. Like
Mhm.
X-Men obviously, but we had films like Fantastic Four and Ghost Rider and stuff that just never really caught on.
Yeah, it's sad it didn't really catch on. Ghost Rider was really good. Nicolas
Yeah,
Cage
and it was a
did
decent film. I
fantastic.
wasn't too big on the second one, but I mean, when does Nicolas Cage not do a good job?
He was gonna be Superman.
I don't know if I could picture that.
Have you not seen the picture?
Mm-mm.
Here, while I talk about it.
Well, I think Nicolas Cage. I think of like recent films like Pig or Willy's Wonderland.
Mindy. Mindy was a good one.
Mindy. Have to
Save
check that one
image.
out. But topically, so the first major fandom you like actually went down that rabbit hole for, that would be like the Marvel stuff, right? But you're talking before MCU. You're talking, figures and comics and shit, right?
Oh yeah, I was really into all of that. I just uploaded the picture in the Discord, I think. How do I send it? There we go. Um, it was mainly the movies that influenced
That's
superheroes on
first.
me. The main movie, yeah, you don't like the picture. I saw you cringe a little bit,
No, no,
Cruz.
no, 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 no,
First
not that,
No.
not that.
Mm-hmm. Can you imagine how bad that would have been?
No,
make that
that
my
looks awful.
icon.
Kitty,
But it was just the movies that is that Chonkers?
nah, that's Jamie.
Uh, uh,
He likes the smoke smell. He chills in here.
you gotta hook him up with the bag of catnip.
Hey yo, hold up.
But it was mainly the movies that got me into the whole. Oh, he has a whole bag of catnip. Wow,
I've
he's
got
the dealer.
catnip too.
It's not for cats.
Really?
But with the whole superhero thing, it was mainly the movies that got me into the whole like fandom.
Thanks, Kitty.
The whole figure thing didn't really do it for me. I don't have any figures myself. I think
Yeah.
the only one I have is Captain America, because obviously. Um, but yeah, I mean that's pretty much me. It's just the whole everything started by watching the movies with my dad, and it just kind of grew on me. It was just some. It was the only thing we really watched, so it had to grow on me at some point.
Right. Okay. Well, that's nowadays because of the MCU and stuff. That's at a level where it's so common nowadays. Just like anime is really common nowadays, which is going to be what I'm going to talk about too. But Christian, you want to take next, or you want me to go?
Yeah, I'll hop in here. So I'm a huge movie buff, and something I got into at a really young age were the Tarantino films. Uh,
Ooh.
Specifically, the first two I can actually remember watching, um, and like actually being able to grasp the topics and remember watching start to end and remembering the whole things were my favorite film of all time, Pulp Fiction, and Jackie Brown. Those are the two that got me into more serious films, just in general, not just with Tarantino films, but they really sparked my love of more serious stories. Pulp Fiction really got me into crime thrillers, crime dramas, um, a lot of noir films because of that one with the theme of that movie, and it just really sparked a giant interest in just all things. I don't know. It just really got me into more serious tones of entertainment, from movies to games to even books I was reading as a kid to
What up,
just uh,
motherfuckers?
Oh. Why didn't they move us to the Twitch channel?
hey, this is cursed.
We
Can we keep
really
this
should
in,
have been in
please?
private VC.
Can we keep this in, please?
Keep
That was so
this?
legendary.
I
Uh,
don't know
Scared
what I
me.
just walked into.
You are-
we're filming a podcast.
Hey, welcome to the Ride Home podcast, dude.
Hold on, let me get my camera on. Hold on.
Awesome.
No!
This never happens.
It's actually
Yes.
audio only.
Oh,
I'm
sweet
actually very
Jesus.
happy I opened up this chat room.
2 hours later.
How far are we into recording so far?
I guess we can keep continuing with your.
I was about to say, yeah,
Tarantino.
we're in your thing. You're talking about your fandom, which is your typical cinephile move.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, I just got really into the Tarantino films at a young age. Brought me into more serious levels of cinema, um, serious tones, and it really just bled into me liking more serious, more mature kind of games, books, even other movies I started watching at a young age.
All right, so it impacted your actual view of things.
Yeah, and for better or worse, I had watched things if you're familiar with more of the Tarantino films, uh, like Death Proof, Planet Terror, which are the Grindhouse. It's like a Grindhouse project between Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez. Uh, they're kind of shorter films. They're about an hour a piece or so, or an hour, hour and a half. But they bleed together loosely. They have the same setting as far as like the area goes, but it's like little like Easter eggs in each of the films. So you're like, oh hey, that's part of this universe, kind of like video games do with Easter eggs. But things like Kill Bill, where they're just filled with, a lot of intense action sequences, a lot of martial arts,
Yeah.
a lot of blood, and gore, and things like that. And I was watching those films from hell. I was probably 7, 8 years old when I watched those movies.
What?
Damn,
And
dude.
that's when,
Even I think was like 12 or 13 before I saw Kill Bill.
I was 20 when I watched Kill Bill.
Damn.
I made friends watch it at another friend's house at a kickback, and I don't think anyone sat through it. But no, it was just something I just really got into it, and for better or worse, it's turned me on to movies and things I like now. And it definitely got me into things that are more like grotesque in nature, more like very hidden films. One of the lighter ones, and it's still not very light, but it's easier, I guess, of that topic to get into, would be films like Green Inferno. If you've seen that, or go check that out. It really got me into films like that, with producers and directors like Eli Roth, who was in Inglourious Bastards, which is another great film. Eli Roth has been doing a lot of horror stuff. He's one of my favorite directors. But just was just always into those darker films, darker movies. The video games, the books, everything, just kind of with its dark tones.
All right, so you kind of, not only were you introduced like to Tarantino and grittier, darker movies, but it seems like it affected your like taste in genre for things. Like if you're at the store, you're less likely to pick up Kingdom Hearts and more likely to pick up Silent Hill 2 or Fatal Frame.
Yes, it definitely affected like not just movies, like the video games I like.
See your face, dude. But yeah,
I'm not gonna say a single word.
Oh, there we go.
Like with and we talk about like anime and stuff outside of these podcasts and everything. And as you know, I'm always like, oh hey, I need something like dark to watch, like, because at this point it's more of a struggle for me to watch and sit through anything that's like a lighter tone.
Here we've noticed that you've hit a wall. We give you some of the darkest we've got, and you can't seem to sit through it. I think you need more short attention span stuff. You're definitely more of a game guy, and I've got a lot I can recommend you, but we'll do that when we're not recording a show. But yeah, like that, it definitely seems to have shaped the type of entertainment that you're into, which is cool. So we're good there. So before I go, Adam, you want to introduce yourself?
I'm on a chat.
I think his mom's calling him.
You good?
No, my roommate.
That'd be his. Oh my god!
My guy, wear some fucking boxers.
Bro, you freeballing?
This is the first episode.
No.
Hey guys, hey Patreon listeners.
Dude, I haven't started a Patreon, but god damn it.
Hey listeners, if you really want to. Hey listeners, if you really want to see that ass crack, pay for the Patreon in the future.
I don't have a Patreon, I swear. Maybe someday.
It'll be worth some money one day.
I'll cut Adam in at 0.0001% for the ass crack. Hey man, if I make $1 million, you make like 10 grand. I'd take that offer.
Hey, I'm all right with that.
But
Cheers,
yeah,
mate.
you want to introduce yourself and
You're still not drinking water.
where you came from? See, even
I
I've
am
got
Adam. I come from planet Earth. No, I'd actually say my first fandom that I ever got into was the movies of Stanley Kubrick.
Yes.
Oh, so you actually got deep
because-
into his stuff, huh?
Well, I mean, it was the first. Okay, so like I always like things like Fast Times at Ridgemont High and Ferris Bueller's Day Off and all those '80s cheese flicks, but I didn't really get into like watching serious movies until I found out about Stanley Kubrick. And the first
Yeah.
film that I have probably the biggest fandom for in his collection is The Shining.
Ooh,
Good
Because
film.
it's a
Nice.
great book, it's a great movie, and just the way Stanley berated what's her face. I can't think of her name.
Right around.
But well, baseball bat scene. He made her do that 46 times,
Jesus.
and the whole
fuck.
time was yelling at her and screaming at her and telling her she was crap. But if you go back and watch the movie, you see the genuine just
This
look on
drop.
her face of just distraught and just
Mhm.
weak. But it paid off in the end. And then you got things like Clockwork Orange.
Yeah,
Space
that was
Odyssey.
my first Kubrick film was.
I've
Clockwork
seen that
Orange.
movie. I've watched it the first time in 3 months ago, 3 or 4 months ago. I'm gonna tell a quick story. My ex came over, and me and two people came over, right? So it was a party of 4 in my room, and I think I'm gonna say it because I mean I'm pretty open about it. I do consume cannabis, and so
Who
we
doesn't?
consumed a good amount of it, a pretty hefty amount,
That's the best way to watch a movie.
and we
It's
watched
the only way to watch a movie.
we
I don't
watched
know about the only way.
we watched
Shut up,
Clockwork
Bruce.
Orange. We watched the film, and genuinely, the 2 other people, not me and my ex-girlfriend, but the 2 other people, legit turned around and said, "Can you turn this off? It's freaking us out."
You getting that bad vibe, huh?
It
Well-
was that scene where I don't know the main character's name, but he tied up the husband in the room, and he starts I don't know how to say it without getting canceled, but he does some obscure things that at that point they're like, why are we watching this? And I didn't pick the movie. It was my ex-girlfriend. She picked it, and I even looked at her like, why did you pick this? Like, we could have watched like Coraline or something else.
Any
dude.
other movie on the planet.
Any other movie, and I only made it to that part. I have not finished the film, but I need to finish it soon.
Well, I also have to say that the Kubrick film, his films are great, but The Shining is really what opened up my door to stuff like the supernatural and thrillers and more stuff
Yeah.
like that. I mean, if I would never watch that movie, I would not like the stuff. It's like Star Trek too. My aunt introduced me to Star Trek when I was a kid, and now Star Trek's in its golden years because they're making so much good stuff right now.
Yeah, they're at a level where, just like with Marvel and everybody else, like we were talking about, it seems like this kind of stuff is more widely accepted.
Yeah.
That was the word I was looking for.
Well, because it's not a procedural science show anymore. It's more nitty gritty action paced. I mean, with Picard, they brought John Q. Delancey back, and it's like everyone just lost their mind. Which is Q, by the way, if no one knows.
We're not, I'm not by any means a Trekkie.
Oh.
My whole world's a little different. I obviously am more of the anime persuasion, if that's not completely obvious. Earlier in the podcast, I actually scrolled over to a meme I threw into the meme dump channel. I put it in Weeb Shit. But it's the scene from Pulp Fiction where Travolta's looking in the suitcase. He's like, yeah, we good. It's Konosuba Season 3 and the Megumin Explosion spinoff they announced. So, like, Pulp Fiction, dude, I must have watched it at least 4 times by now. Really good film.
4? Only 4?
Only 4?
Only 4, yeah.
I think I watched that movie like once a month.
That's more than I've watched some other films, dude, and films that I really enjoy. For example, piggybacking on the movie, cinephile side of things, I like watching cult movies that I kind of saw snippets of when I was a kid, but actually going back and going through them. One of my favorites to go back and watch every now and then is like The Big Lebowski or Dazed and Confused. If you've been following recent celebrity trials, I personally like to go watch Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas every now and then. There are some
Pirates.
really good films out there, especially if you're enhancing them in your own special way. Very enjoyable. I've
Yes.
recently been going down that
My-
road with anime. It's been amazing.
My favorite to go back and rewatch is I'll always find myself revisiting the Twilight Zone show.
The new
Like
one's
the
good
old
too.
one, not that like in color remake they did, but like the old
But you
with
can
the
you can
Rod
actually watch
Sterling.
those in black and white too.
the new one.
Yeah.
Huh.
Really?
Yeah.
Try
They
that.
have an option on Paramount if you want to watch them in black and white, you can.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and in my opinion, they picked up right where that series left off. I think it's good.
That's
It's not as good as the original, but it's good writing.
But you have to admit that's a really good touch. That is like really
Yeah.
good to paying homage to the original like Twilight
To
Zone.
get your fan base to watch it. Yeah.
Dude, I love the Twilight Zone. My 5th grade teacher forced us to watch it like for
Oh,
a
it's
whole
so
week.
good.
For a
It's so
whole
good.
week. I think the one that freaked me out the most, I don't remember what it was about, but the aliens like were on a hill observing the humans, and they were just like, "There's no hope. These guys are
Oh.
so stupid."
I'd have to say my
Monsters on fuck me, dude. I just watched it the other day.
my favorite one is the guy that's got the stopwatch that stops time. And he's
Yes.
messing around with the time, and then he breaks the pocket watch. And he
I've
gets
seen that
stuck
one.
in
I
between
have
time.
seen that one.
That one's really good.
That is the ultimate like metaphor. Just be stuck, and just be like, can't do shit.
A lot of the Twilight Zone is really, really. I know I'm getting into my philosophy thing here. I'm sorry, but a lot of Twilight Zone is really philosophical. Like,
Oh yeah, for sure.
there's a lot of metaphors to actual like life. I guess
It's
presence.
smart sci-fi.
Exactly. It's amazing.
Oh, it's so
One of
good.
the one of the earlier episodes of that show when it first aired was I'm forgetting the title, but the gentleman, he was in like an Air Force, or I guess at the time it might have been the Army Air Corps. I guess in the way the show worked, but he's in a government program and he's like the last man on Earth. He's wandering around town. He can't find nobody. He's going stir crazy, and that used to freak me out as a kid. I was like, that's so frightening to
Yeah.
think about.
Twilight Zone is great.
Yes. That's another one of those sci-fi shows my aunt got me into.
So, seems like we have a lot of very common ones. Nowadays, even anime is super common, but that would be mine, dude. That was my first. I mean, I grew up watching like Power Rangers and all that, but I can't say I was truly into that said fandom. But I did
was.
love the stuff growing up.
I had every
Um,
fucking toy you could think of.
Yeah, like there's a difference I think between childhood fascination, because at that point you could say dinosaurs are a fandom. Like,
Yeah, I mean, but Power Rangers, dude, it's. I mean, I watched it up until space. Like,
was
I
never
watched it
too,
religiously for like ever, and that's all I eat, breathe, shit. Power Rangers.
never too out there on it, but when I first got into anime, I was like, it was the introduction of cable TV, and I think Dragon Ball was still in the Frieza saga, and getting towards the Cell saga, back when I first got into any of that. But see, while all the kids at school were talking about Dragon Ball, I kept bringing up other things, and it's cool when you bring up stuff that they don't know about, such as, like, things that you could stay up watching. Inuyasha, for example. I got to talk about Cowboy Bebop and Rurouni Kenshin. Everybody had no fucking clue.
I was just about to mention Cowboy Bebop.
The only anime out of all the ones that I could list that I was watching at that time when I was about 10 years old or so. 9, 10 years old. Here's the one that got me into the point where people were like, okay, now even that's weird, fuck off. I was like, Dragon Ball, Yu Yu Hakusho, Rurouni Kenshin, like, no, other than Dragon Ball, we don't know any of them. I'm like, well, okay, so I thought it was safe to go ahead and say Hamtaro, and that's when everyone's like, oh, you watch Hamtaro, what are you, 5? Like,
It's a classic, though.
it's a chill show. It's definitely a vibe of its own, and when you're that age, that's the target demographic for it. Like, I don't know, a lot of people, like, it's just like my dad, for example. He was not like some of the kids at school who didn't really get into anime. He's like, oh, I don't understand why you're watching Chinese cartoons. We have perfectly good cartoons here. Look, it's The Simpsons. The Simpsons is your anime now. King of the Hill. Now, while King of the
Being
Hill is
indoctrinated,
I'll
son.
tell you what,
while
Bobby, that's
living
funny.
in Texas, King of the Hill is technically an anime. And if you say it's wrong, you're gonna get your ass beat in Texas.
It's
but-
Texas anime.
It's Texas anime, and like, I don't know, man.
But I'll tell you what.
I grew up
I'll
with
tell
like,
you what,
Well, I'll tell you what,
that boy ain't right.
it just evolved
Well,
from there, man.
Bobby,
When
if you weren't my son, I'd hug you right now.
it just evolved from there, you know. Anime is actually the reason I got into playing music. Mongolian Chop Squad was one of my first anime, and I'll talk more about that when we do the anime episode. But y'all know me. You see my camera. You don't need any explanation. These guys are dying
I know.
over some
You look so
impressions.
well.
Well, I'll tell you what.
And see, this is why
Fighting food-ons. Fighting
I-
food-ons.
Yeah.
Anyone know that shit?
I do.
I haven't seen King of the Hill, so it's like that line you specifically said just like threw me off.
It's a
completely.
legitimate. Even Brandon came out of retirement.
Our audience doesn't know, but we're all in
This
Discord
is
channel,
gonna
right?
be
We're all
because of
seeing
me?
each other.
That ain't right.
Yeah. So the
I
video.
take mother from hell, I saw propane, and I have a narrow urethra.
The video feed is what I'm actually saving for. Dude, I talked about Hank Hill in our first ever episode of the Ride Home podcast.
You did.
Yes,
This
We ended
shit's
up
funny.
chopping 20 minutes of that out, which, by the way, I feel like this is going to be the second most, like, heavily edited episode we've ever done. But it's working out.
It's gonna be PogChamp.
See, just for doing that with your fingers, I'm going to... Brandon's just like, bet.
Hey, audience, if you want to see what Brandon did, you'd have to pay for the Patreon.
No, we're not talking about the Patreon. That's not even... The Patreon does not exist. The Patreon
Bonus
is a lie.
features.
Hey, not yet. Not yet.
The Patreon
Not
does
yet.
not exist. But no, we're going to save that for the anime discussion. I think I've said my piece. I don't need to go any further into, you know, what's obviously went down with me. But, so I bet that pretty much wraps up topic one. So having an additional guest, that's kind of out there. Adam, what were you doing? Why did you pop yourself into this little chat hole?
I was doing laundry, and I was bored as fuck.
It's
Good answer.
plain and simple.
This is
It's on
gonna
his
be
shirt.
funny.
He's done peopling. He had to come in here because we're not people.
You're subhuman. It's all right though. I like it. No, I was bored really. Honestly, I saw open chat and I was like, hey, I'll pop in.
I mean,
This
we're
is
happy
never
you're here
easy,
though.
Benny.
Rather than playing Fortnite, we are recording some content because that's what we do.
Like the only one. Well,
Pretty
now
much done with
YouTube
that
is.
first topic. Moving on. So, like, Sam's already kind of said what it was like, you know, growing up. Marvel was very accepted. Did you guys have any friends that shared into, like, your interests, or...
Actually, no. At my time growing up, Marvel really wasn't accepted. When
Really?
in schools for me, I actually got picked on for actually wearing superhero shirts and actually bringing up superhero stuff. It actually sucked.
Huh.
That's the thing. That's the issue now. Is like back then, maybe like 10, 12 years ago, it wasn't as accepted. It was like, yeah, you'd watch it, but if you're into them, you're a geek. But now it's like everyone is just geeks after watching Infinity War for the first time in theaters. You're automatically a geek. You can name all the superheroes just because you know them by name. But back then, it wasn't really accepted as much as it is now.
And see, that's kind of what I remember. I remember, like, superhero stuff was not cool. You weren't supposed to talk about it. That's how I was in school. Like, what you know was really big in, like, say, my 4th grade class? Harry fucking Potter.
Oh fuck, Harry Potter.
Wait,
That
how
was
old are
big.
you guys?
I'm 30.
See, like, I don't remember, like, I mean, I was in high school, but, like...
Okay,
Oh,
I
I mean-
wasn't talking high school. That's elementary for me. That was first film.
I mean, I'm just saying,
My high school memories are not exactly existent. How do you think I met
well,
Kevin?
the whole thing to the superhero thing, like, I mean, I never witnessed, I remember things like that.
Huh.
I mean, my friend used to wear a Superman shirt all the time. His name was Tex, and no one ever said anything to him about it.
And so we also had the negative stigma of our uncle. So my grandma died when my uncle was maybe like 12, and that was also the year I was born. So he grew up as like a big brother sort of figure. So when I was in grade school, he was 20, 19, 20. So he would always pick us up in like his fucking Camaro and stuff, and he was that cool older brother type. But he would always say that, you know, he loved nerdy shit, but he would always kind of tell us to hide it because he went to school, you know, in the early 90s was his high school. So he was talking about how bad that was, and my parents had even talked about how they used to beat kids up and make fun of them for liking comics. But see, they went to school in like the 70s. Their high school was late 80s. So I don't know, man. I think over the years it's become more widely accepted. There's a 7-year-old that my mom babysits, and he's got like a Demon Slayer backpack. You know, anime especially is up there. Marvel stuff, obviously. Disney has run that into the ground. But like, you know, when you were a kid, certain fandom stuff, you really, I don't know about y'all. Like, I didn't go around telling my friends that I like, you know, Power Rangers or the Ninja Turtles. Like,
I did.
That would have got my ass beat up.
I did.
Where are you from, dude?
I don't know, man.
Where did you grow up?
South Lake.
Okay, so you've been in Texas the whole time. That's weird.
Yeah.
I'm from freaking South Houston, dude. Like, that's...
Like, I never had any of those issues. Like, all my friends used to play Power Rangers with me in the playground, and like, my friend was like a big, you know, in high school, I had a friend that would, every time we get in the car, he'd sing to Fall Out Boy and pop punk bullcrap, and I was a grunge kid.
See, that wasn't the music when I was younger.
Everything for me growing up is way different because I'm from South Chicago, and so like everything around me was sports.
Sure, you're used to hearing things like, "Oh, the Bears, they're gonna win the Super Bowl."
Yeah, and like just I don't know, a lot of things were sports related, and oddly enough, like nowadays I don't have too many.
Oh yeah, it's Chi-Town. It's all about the Bears. It's all about the Bears. But no, I get you. Like Chicago, like that's a very much, it's all sports, and it's different. It's way different than Texas. Like complete polar opposites.
Like even the way the schools work, because in like this is gonna like get like super serious and kind of depressing, but like the schools are more focused on like making sure like the kids were physically like safe getting to and from school. So I don't think I don't think most kids were focused on like, oh haha, they're into anime or they're not into this or whatever. Everyone was more like literally making it alive.
Blue collar.
Getting through
very blue collar state.
I don't know, and like I moved down here to Texas when I was in like my freshman year, so I didn't get to experience, you know, like middle school or anything down here in Texas, anything like that. So I'm not too knowledgeable on how that went. But
middle school sucks for everybody. It's just the worst.
When you brought up Power Rangers, and I remember the Beetleborgs, and I was into that for a little while because it was
god.
But it was like. It was well, you know, it was already over and done with by the time I watched it in like the early 2000s, I believe.
That's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
I found, I think it was on like VHS tapes or something I had found.
It was all about Saban.
And I was into it.
Yeah.
But it
was
already
remember VR Troopers?
Yeah, I do. Dude, all Saban did was take Japanese shows and repurpose them.
Yep.
It's crazy, but I mean...
VR Troopers was so good, though.
There were so many seasons of Power Rangers before Power Rangers was a thing.
Mm-hmm. Zoids was another one I was big into for a while, but it was after it had already like gone past its thing. Like I had found out about it well after it was already done. To have like little models of the Ligers, like people do Gundams. I had those, but for Zoids, like the Ligers, like Liger Zero figures and whatnot.
Yeah.
We don't need to talk about my figures.
No, we can.
No, we're good.
We can. I mean, we can see a lot of them.
I know. There's.
Jesus
Oh my
Christ!
God.
I always forget how many figures you actually have.
There's another wall back over there, and then I got
Oh,
my
I
There's
baby
also-
stuff.
remember.
There's
I
also
remember.
there's also a ton in boxes he doesn't have. Oh,
I forget about that as well.
I know,
There's
I'm selling
so
shit.
many.
Like, I need to get rid of a lot of this crap to make room for more crap.
Oh hell yeah! Is that your cat?
Yep, you just saw her starfish. Oh, that's funny.
Correction, the internet just saw her starfish. I saw nothing.
I need an
this is
ashtray.
first.
You don't have an ashtray?
Use the cat.
I do now.
I can guarantee that cup was not filled with water.
That liquid was dark.
Yep.
Well, yeah, it was soda water, but it had water in it.
But alright, spiraling out of control. So it seems like we're all kind of on that consensus that, you know,
Melted ice.
the things are way more accepted nowadays. You know what I mean?
Oh, it really is. I mean, back
I
then,
got my book wet.
everyone that liked anime got cheesed on. Every single person I knew. In my high school, we had this wall. I think around Cruz's shelves.
You hung all
all
the anime kids on it.
Yeah, the shelves that you have right now, multiply that amount by 2. In my high school, that was all full of manga. All of it. There were so many manga. And if you got caught reading manga like in class like I did, you would get called out by the teacher, cuz at the time I was super addicted to reading manga. It was the only thing I would do. So, after I would read, but while I was reading my manga, the teacher would like be like, "What are you reading this time? Pick up the book and show it to everyone." And the reason I got picked on at the time was
Think outside the bun.
I was reading Oren, is it called Oren? Oren High School.
Oran, yeah.
Oran.
Oh, you had to be reading one of the girliest books available.
Exactly. And because I had a friend and she recommended it to me. It was
Of course
like,
she did.
Yeah, so I took
How do you
it
think
and
I picked up Fruits Basket for the first time?
I also
It's
got called
usually a girl that you know in the
So
fandom.
this is acceptable?
Yeah, this is fine.
Okay.
out. Oh, lucky bastards. But I also read Fruits Basket and got called out for it as well. It was never like Full Metal Alchemist or Dragon Ball or One Piece, because I made it to like book 20 at least. It was always none of those books that they like the teacher like pulled up and like, what are you reading? Oh, that's
Yeah,
pretty sick.
it's got to be the pink one.
It's always the pink ones, and it's always like the most inconvenient times. I was really interested in this girl in my class, and she was in that class. And when that happened, I was like, my life is over. Everyone knows.
Sorry.
Everyone knows, and it's like I didn't necessarily get picked on, but it was like people like were like, you read girl anime, and it's like, bro, like it's just books.
Did they call you named
Well-
Sam?
Dude, you don't even want to know the names they called me.
Did they call you
See-
Sailor Moon?
See, I didn't really have anyone that read anime, like friend-wise.
I was joking. I got a story
Books I
later.
read too.
I got a Sailor
In the,
Moon
in the
story.
fifth,
in a minute,
in the
but-
fifth and sixth grade, I had this friend named Steven, and he would draw anime porn. And he would he'd just randomly walk up to my friend, like, while we're sitting in the cafeteria, and
Wait.
he's like, here you go, and just hand people these random fucking drawings, but he was always drawing anime porn. And it was the weirdest one of my friends, because at that time I knew really only a handful of people that watched anime, and it was stuff like X, Akira, Cowboy Bebop, all the 90s stuff. But this kid would just adamantly draw anime porn.
I mean, if you think about it, when you draw anime in general, it's not that hard to like actually add certain features or take off certain features, you know?
Yeah, I get that, but like to be in 5th and 6th grade, just be like
Oh,
Randomly
5th and
walking
6th
up-
grade?
randomly walking up to people and going, "Oh, here's this drawing I drew." Yeah, bro, it's fucking weird.
That's
That's weird.
I was
'cause-
thinking like maybe high school that kind of
No.
would have made sense,
No.
but
No,
Jesus
like
fuck.
fifth grade. This kid was from Connecticut. He was an oddball. Good.
Hey.
He wound up becoming one of my best friends. But
Huh.
when I first met him, that dude was fucking weird as shit.
Is he locked up?
No,
He should be.
he's not.
What?
So yeah,
Dude, how?
we
what
all
is?
know, we
what
all
is-
know that weird one guy. That's Cruz.
What?
Whoa.
Excuse me?
Don't diss our host. He can kick you out of the call.
I'm just playing. He knows I'm playing. We worked together at Amazon for a good minute.
I don't know, man. I'm gonna start shit talking your bare walls and fucking empty 40s on the floor.
Yeah, I
Hey,
can
No,
do that
there's
too.
no empty. No. Hold on. There are no empty 40s on the floor, and my walls are not all bare.
Oh my god, one poster. Congratulations.
And then over here,
And another one. Oh my
and then
god.
over
Oh.
there.
It's a double. Papa
Does the
John.
fan,
My brother-in-law drew that for me. That's me.
does the fan on your ceiling count as well as a decorative piece?
But that's me
Wow.
though. My brother-in-law on his TikTok drew that for me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I have some custom artwork in the bedroom, and then look, and then there's a tomato can thing, the Warhol thing, you know, it's over there. That's tomato soup.
Tomato soup.
Yeah.
You got a Warhol print.
You're a big
Yeah,
fan of
it's
tomato soup?
Andy Warhol.
What?
Andy Warhol.
I'm
He's
sorry.
an artist that.
He
one of
draws
his things is-
hentai. He's his friend from grade school.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. No, I'm showing you my other artwork. Hold on.
Oh Lord, what have we done?
Presentation time.
Oh, I
Please
gotta
pull up
cut
your
it all
cats.
out. Oh, I gotta cut everything out. I can't be editing.
Just
Well,
click the thingy. You have a button, right, where where you can like clip it.
This is cursed.
Yeah, well, I have a button where I can stop recording, but see, here's the thing. You never know if you can use any of this stuff. So I keep it going. What I do is I play it back,
Incense sticks
while
smell like
clipping.
Fireball. It's so great.
this.
then I put all the clips together.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what that is. Then
Yeah.
I know.
And I don't need art. I've got guitars.
All right.
This
All right.
has gotten away from us.
Back on
Oh
topic.
yeah. Good
Which
point.
is the topic?
Of discussion.
Hang on, I accidentally flipped over to a
Alright,
channel
now
that may or
would
may not have
be-
had something illegal on it.
We should be on like the state of him that you brought up, like the state of him.
The what?
Like
Yeah,
I said, the
so-
state
And
of-
we brought up, like, you know, how are they doing now?
So it seems like
Ah.
we had very mixed reactions so far to growing up with this kind of stuff, right?
Oh yeah.
But like
Mhm.
from then to now, basically, what have you guys like? What have you noticed? You know, in recently. You know, is there anything that you can take back and be like, you know, comparatively to that, you know, shit's different? You know, was there any experiences that stuck out to you from, you know, being a part of your fandom? I guess I should say.
I guess I'll go. First thing, I guess, like if I look back now at like my whole, I guess, interactions in fandom with the fandom of like Marvel, the movies definitely change. I think when we first started watching, I guess like Iron Man and Thor and even like the Avengers, like the first Avengers, I don't think anyone, I think maybe a handful of people, because you know, comic books, never have I ever thought that the Marvel Cinematic Universe would have expanded to current degree. Like I have never thought I would see Thor interacting with Guardians of the Galaxy. It's just it became such a like an amazing clusterfuck, right? It's just it all just comes together like the Kronk meme. Ah, yes, it's all coming together. Like it just came together so smoothly. But it's like if you look back 12 years from now, even like even more than that, 20 years, you would never imagine like how much Marvel would have become. And honestly, I think it's thanks to the fandom. I think the fandom kind of like pushed the Marvel Cinematic Universe to like the next level.
For sure.
And honestly, I'm grateful for it. The only problem is that the Marvel Cinematic Universe is so accurate with the comics, more or less, that you do have to watch all of the movies to understand what is happening currently. And that to me is the biggest like turnoff for a lot of people. Like
It's
I've
like,
heard
yeah, it's like if I was trying to, because this one anime that's coming out in July, I was talking about how like it's the culmination of all this stuff, but at the same time, you'd have to go back and check out all this other stuff to hit that point. I feel like that's definitely where it is with Marvel. It's like you have to either be all in or not in at all to really truly appreciate it.
exactly, and I mean that's the sort of beauty of it. I mean, it just sucks that I mean I went to a movie theater to watch Spider-Man, the newest one. By the way, I give it a 9. To anyone who cares, but a lot of the people in there just didn't understand what was happening. When I don't care spoilers. It's been out for more than like 3 months.
I mean, if you haven't seen it, it's kind of on you by this
Yeah,
point,
it's
right?
definitely on you. You're stupid and you should not be
It's been out
complaining.
long enough, yeah.
But when Andrew Garfield, like from a distance in the portal, like, you can definitely recognize his suit. They all have distinct, you know, superhero suits. Once he appeared, like from the distance, I gasped really loud. Right? I was like, and then when he like jumped through the portal, me and my family were the only ones that
Oof.
actually clapped and cheered. No one else. And it became like the vibe was completely off after that. Like it felt like the worst embarrassment of my life. Cause it's like that was a general reaction. We watched it the very first day. Every time a Marvel movie shows up first day, everyone is cheering. Because it's all Marvel fans. They're the ones that bought the tickets, but it wasn't the case. Everyone in the theater pretty much bought the tickets because it's hype. They knew it was going to be hype, and that's what kind of saddened me. It just became like, oh, people are just watching it because it's the rumors of the 3 Spider-Men. And after the movie was over, I heard so many people, and you don't understand. I don't listen to conversations of other people, but I actually heard conversations of people like, I don't understand about like what Doctor Strange was doing. I don't understand like what the conversations were, and it sucks that people grew up with Spider-Man movies, but now to watch like the current Spider-Man stuff, they have to understand every single thing in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which kind of saddens me because there's a lot of people that want to get into superheroes, but once you hear like, oh, you have to watch all these movies, it's sort of the same thing with One Piece, an anime that has over 1,000 episodes. I really want to check it out. There's a lot of
It's like a giant wall, though.
exactly because there's yeah.
It's rough to sit through, but it definitely has its gems. There's a lot of filler. There's a lot of bad filler. Like, I can comfortably say you can take out a good 300 episodes of One Piece at different points. There's probably like in total 300 episodes you can just chop out, and you would still get the same story.
Dragon Ball Z, case in point. A lot of fillers.
No, even better, Naruto. 70% of it was filler. 70% of Naruto and Naruto Shippuden was filler. You can literally take out all the filler episodes, and you can fully understand the story.
One Piece does that on steroids. One Piece.
What do y'all think of? What do y'all think of Winnie the Pooh getting a horror film?
Dude, I am so hyped for that, dude. It looks so great. Just the concept alone.
It looks so wrong.
They ate Eeyore, guys.
The other day.
They fucking ate the donkey.
We were talking about these dark versions of stories we're getting.
It's called Blood and Honey.
Yeah, I brought back up if y'all ever seen it, Brightburn.
Yeah.
How they were doing like evil versions of superheroes.
The Dark Superman story.
We're getting evil versions of Winnie the Pooh. We had like the dark crime, like rated R version of what was the Muppets with Happy Time Murders.
I love that movie.
Yes, it was so good.
Muppets, right? That was Muppets, right? That's what.
Yeah.
It was like the Muppets, yeah.
I'm like, dude, I'm loving this. We're getting these like super dark fantasy versions of these like children's things. It's just great. I love it. I love it so much.
Did you guys watch Sausage Party?
Yep.
Yes. Could we
Oh,
just
what
touch
has this
buns?
become?
No, dude. It's because I love the whole thing where like cartoon things turn to like things for adults, right? Like the Winnie the Pooh. I think that's what the fuck kind of car is that? That's
Yeah,
actually sick.
Guys,
so
they
well
just
for
dropped the
families.
DeLorean concept.
I can say this real quick though. The best thing about Sausage Party was the reviews of people who went to see it, thinking
With
it was
their
going to be a
kids.
family movie.
Oh,
Ooh.
yeah.
I have a story.
I am ready.
Dumb.
I have a quick story. It's not gonna take long
This
at
is
all.
so off the rails.
I worked at. I know, but the viewers will love it. They'll love how unhinged we are with these
I told you it
conversations.
was chaotic in here.
But I worked at the cinema for 2 years, 2.5 years, and when that movie came out, you don't understand. We had to tell people that they are watching a R-rated movie, and there's a lot of horrible things in the film.
Mhm.
We had to not yell, but we had to like discuss with these two moms bringing 4 children,
Oh, dear God.
4 children below the age of 6 to watch
Yes!
the film. And
Yes.
Parent of
me-
the year.
me as a new dad, I was like, no, like please, like don't do this. And they're like,
Well,
look,
my
they're
mom
like,
did that with us with Austin Powers, thinking
Oh,
it was
hell
going to be
yeah.
like the family movie of the fucking year, and
We
we
did
all went
that
and
with
saw.
Grand
Respect.
Theft Auto.
but dude, they actually argued that they already paid for the tickets and they're going to watch the movie. So
Oh,
at
dear
that
Lord.
point, after
Their own
15
damn
minutes,
fault.
after 15 minutes of discussing with them, we were just like, you know what? Traumatize your kids.
We don't care.
At- Once I don't want to say the word, the finish of the movie was over, or during like the whole finish, mid finish, I guess you can say. Haha. The moms come out with their kids and they start yelling at us. Like, why didn't you tell us? I'm like, bro, we literally spent 20 minutes trying to like hint at you, like what is
Dude.
happening.
They don't understand. They stonewall it. And, cutting this part out, like... I was curious.
No, it's good. It's good.
I was curious. Oh my God, the shit I've had to put up with as an autographs manager. Fuck
Oh, God, dude.
people.
I was just glad I was bumped to fucking bartender.
Yeah.
I did not have to deal with people as much.
Oh yeah, being off the rails is what we do. I'm actually gonna have to really, really chop the hell out of this episode. But it's okay, It's unexpected, but it's comedic, and that's
It's practice.
2 hours later.
Friends is
So yeah,
cringy.
that's what you see there. For me, I never could have told myself, 15 years ago, that I would be educating people at conventions about anime they've never heard of because they weren't around for it. It's one of the things that I've been doing, and one of the things I've also been trying to launch on my YouTube channel. So like, I don't know, man. Like, anime is just everywhere, and actually, like, it's awesome to see, but at the same time, there's still that whole like, I don't know.
I just always have a problem trying to find what to watch because like there's just so much
So
There
anime.
is way
What
too much.
I like to do is, give me stuff that you like in real life, movies, books, games, whatever
Man, you gave me a
entertains
list of
you.
stuff I have, and I just need to watch it.
I'm pretty good at building those lists together.
Yeah, you made me a good one.
Mongolian
God,
Chop
I've watched
Squad for
some of it.
you. That's definitely number one. I can't even stress that enough.
honestly,
Mongolian Chop Squad. Beck.
All right, I'll check it out.
Cruz, you honestly got me back on the anime train, my guy. When you recommended Neon Genesis Evangelion, that for real, 100%, it's all thanks to you. You brought me back into the anime world because before watching Neon Genesis, I didn't watch almost any anime besides Naruto.
Ugh.
And Naruto, the last time I watched it was 4 or 5 years ago. So it's like you actually brought me back from the weeb hell, weeb death. You brought me
Weeb dungeon.
A
back.
lot of people quit in the Naruto Bleach era,
Mm.
and they never came back. But like that spilled out. Now you have Demon Slayer, My Hero, Jujutsu Kaisen, Spy Family right now. Jesus Christ, Spy Family.
My family blew up.
Oh yeah, you put orphans and MILF and all this other stuff involved, and it just explodes.
Blows
Dude,
up.
there's one character I saw this like character today. She's just covered in blood. Like, what happens in this show? You know what I mean?
I need to check it out. It's on my list.
It's the second highest rated show on my anime list, and that's because the first highest rating is Full Metal Alchemist. And there's a group of people who go onto that site just to upvote Full Metal Alchemist to keep it up top. So
Yeah,
when you
that's
think
the
about
cult
that being
following.
disqualified, it's currently the #1 anime on my anime list.
So by
I've actually never
technicality,
seen
yeah.
Full Metal Alchemist.
I have.
I recommend Brotherhood over the original Full Metal.
Brotherhood was better. The original felt like, underproduced. It, easy Toonami trash. It's like
Question for everyone: which had the better intros, Brotherhood or original Full Metal?
the original had some good music. As much as I'm not a big fan of it, I like the original music, the original
Mhm.
OPs. I mean, Brotherhood was
Anime
good.
Soundtrack is Cowboy Bebop.
Okay, Cowboy Bebop's alright, but like, go give a
Cowboy
listen
Bebop's
to
the music is amazing.
some of the Yu Yu Hakusho and Rurouni Kenshin tracks.
Rurouni Kenshin, yes, I know that, but
Oh,
I'm just
yeah.
saying, there's something about Cowboy Bebop's aesthetic of music that's just it makes that show.
It is a vibe. I do.
Yeah.
It's a total vibe.
The show's unique.
It's
I'm
that-
not
It's
gonna
that bluesy,
say
jazzy shit. It's so good.
I'm not gonna push it on people, because like Bebop's got their own little level of fandom that is kind of cringe. It's very similar to the what's the word I was going for? Not the JoJo fandom, but like shit. I forgot, but there's another fandom that does this stupid shit. Not just Full Metal Alchemist and Bebop, but like I wouldn't call it Evangelion was what I was going for. Like, don't.
Mhm.
The way I see it, you gotta just find that show that fits you. If just because other people like it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to. That's the great part about what makes us human. We have different opinions. Our synapses fire differently. So, I like to just start with people. Find out what you like, and what you've experienced. And especially if it also helps like what you hated. Because I can rule shit out right away and make my decisions easier. Because I have hundreds of shows that I've seen that I have to pull from. Make it easy on me at the very least.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, hopefully I get some anime content. Yeah, dude, I say that all the time. That's basically a catchphrase at this point.
It's a good catchphrase.
It's better than PogChamp or
Bro, hey man.
drink G Fuel.
Hey, yeah, drink G Fuel.
Ew.
What did you just say?
I'm pretty excited for some of these script reading streams though.
Oh yeah, I'm ready for the content they're gonna be pushing, my guy. You've been actually pushing a lot of really good ideas, especially like the whole Seinfeld thing.
So that's the namesake of my group, my company, what I'm building. I'm trigger happy. I get a good idea and I shoot it out. Sometimes they stick, sometimes they don't.
It's just the risk factor. I mean,
yeah.
whether it sticks or not, whether it sticks or it doesn't stick, or it fails completely or it succeeds exponentially.
I have
It's
projects sitting off to the side that I've never even touched on. And the
Touch
script
on it.
reading thing was one of them, but at first it was going to be like, anime or video game scripts, and it was going to be like me and some weeb friends, but it'd be better to do, movies or Seinfeld episodes or some stupid shit instead, Doing it on a live stream, if you tag it correctly days before, you can have the masses coming in. What I'd like to do is demo it like live in Discord at one point, or if you just want to go down to it, do a podcast episode conceptualizing the idea and release the episode of the Ride Home podcast as just a script reading.
Oh yeah.
See what happens there. It could honestly be its own separate podcast alone, because script reading in general is limitless, you know? You
Oh,
can
for
never run
sure.
out of stuff. This could be an additional show. I'm struggling to get this show off the ground, but, you know, one step at a time.
Oh yeah, for sure. It does take time, but as long as you keep pushing and you keep tagging and
Oh, yeah,
I
I'm not
mean,
going to stop. I'm going
oh
to
yeah,
keep going.
I actually love this podcast. I
Did you
listen to
see
the.
did you see the clip I made of just me and Thomas doing the RuneScape
Oh yeah,
arms?
I saw that was great. That's a really good gif.
That's the kind of stuff I got to make, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Really good content that you're pushing, my guy. I'm proud of you.
Hey, when this is all said and done, Cruz, you need to give me the links to watch your podcast through Messenger.
I'll send it to you right
Okay.
now, my guy. I got you.
My YouTube has the Ride Home and the Civil Craft Cast archives. The YouTube is THP Media.
I'm just happy to be here.
The Spotify is a little different, but it's the Ride Home podcast on Spotify. But the YouTube is also where we're pushing. If we get 100 YouTube subscribers, I'm going to upload some really embarrassing content. So, you know, we're just going to keep pushing and doing what we do. But I think we've about run this course this episode. I guess the rule of, you know, the moral of the story is just, it doesn't fucking matter. Just roll with it. Do your own thing. You know, if you like something, keep at it. Who gives a fuck what other people say? Show your Oron High School host club in the middle of your classroom proudly. It's all good.
All I gotta say is I would like to come back and do another episode of this because this has been fun.
Well, yeah, so kind of get a feel of what we're doing. Do you have any, out of curiosity, do you have any supernatural stories, like real-life ghost experiences?
Yes, I do.
Cool. So check out episode 3, and you'll get a feel, because we're going to do a sequel episode on that, because we all still have
Okay,
stories to
because
share.
I've got at least 2 really good stories.
That will be a perfect episode to bring you back on.
I've got one about where I watched a video on a Ouija board and some weird shit happened. And then I have a story about how we caught an EVP on a little sound recorder.
All right, guys, Spook Stories round 2 coming up. Oh, dear Lord, he's got the demon cat.
Oh no, he makes his debut return.
His camera froze. Look, something's going on.
That's Satan's cat.
Did you see his camera freeze?
The corner is still dark, dude. It's like a circle.
Oh, I've been staring at it this whole time.
Oh, homeboy,
You'll understand when you listen to episode 3. But yeah, there's your trailer for it. Spook Stories Part 2 confirmed.
All right, man. Just let me know when it's going to happen and invite me back. Like I said, I've got at least 2 good stories.
Well, next time you're on your ride home, remember, listen to an album. But the time after that, when we have the upload, check out the next episode.
Woo!
The Ride Home Podcast, THR logo, and intro tracks are original products of Trigger Happy Projects Media Group. Please do not duplicate or distribute without permission.